JRTV is back with coverage of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series 2000 season, and for the first time and only time this season, we'll head to the New Hampshire International Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire. This is the Jiffy Lube 300. We're into the second half of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series season as the points battle is still just as intense as it was a few races ago. Many drivers still fighting for a shot at that championship. We'll see who leaves New Hampshire as the points leader. Keegan Thompson, with a great result at Michigan, extended the points lead over Trey Barto. But drivers like Justin Zeidel, Chris Jericho, and Brett Sierra, they look to close in. Zeidel winner at Michigan, Jericho got second, Sierra got a top 5 as well. Those three drivers from 3rd to 5th in points, they're looking to try and gain enough points to be within a race after New Hampshire. Jericho starts in 3rd, Sierra in 5th, Zeidel starts 8th, Barto 11th, and Keegan Thompson starts 14th, the lowest of the drivers, and he's on the outside lane. The inside road, definitely the place to be on the start here at New Hampshire, and this one will be no different for sure. We're going to be seeing that inside lane get going, but in the midst of all that, Jamie Stanworth Jr. for Marcus Auto Racing has gotten pole for the Jiffy Lube 300 here at New Hampshire. What an incredible story for that single car organization. We've seen some surprise poles this season, but this one definitely just as big a surprise as we've seen here in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Marcus Auto Racing used to be one of the top teams, a team that would get top 5, top 10 in points and battle for wins on a decent basis. We'll see what Jamie Stanworth Jr. could do with that car on pole. What track position can he hold? Can he try and lead laps and try and maybe find that thing in victory lane at the end of 60 laps here at New Hampshire? Mitchell Collins in the 12 starts to his outside. One car failed post-qualifying inspection. It was Zachary DeLello. He'll start back in the 42nd position for that Penny Enterprises number 43. It's a decent day here at New Hampshire. 71 degrees for the temperature. Cloudy here. You can see there are some blue skies peeking through, but overall mostly cloudy here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. In terms of the wind, well, it is a gust in 7 miles an hour in the south direction, and the rain chance is some of the highest we've seen this season, 35% chance. However, it's looking more and more likely as we progress through every minute that we will be able to get this thing in uninterrupted, no rain involved there. And now we'll go take a look at some of the track facts here at New Hampshire, obviously located in Loudon, New Hampshire. Just over a mile in length, 1.058 miles long is this racetrack. The banking, no banking on the straightaways, but 12 degrees of banking in the corner. It doesn't look like that. These drivers will definitely tell you it doesn't feel like that, but there is 12 degrees of banking in the corner for these drivers to use. The first race here was in 1993, so it's a fairly new racetrack, which opened in 1990. So that's 7 races at this track. This will be the 8th race here at New Hampshire in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. The past 5 winners: Jeff Bright won in 1995, Isaac Nichols, Marcus Sanchi, Adam Lewis, and Jeff Bright won last season. The other 2 winners are back in 93, the first ever race here at New Hampshire. It was Griffin Lynn. He owns Team Savco. Can that team try maybe find victory lane? And then also Kevin Bandit won it in 1994. So there haven't been many winners in these 7 races. We've had 6 winners. Jeff Bright's won 2 of them. He won the last time out in that 5 car. The 5 car starts in 14th today. We'll see what Keegan Thompson can do from that spot. But all eyes are on the front row and the man on pole, Jamie Stanworth Jr. for Marcus Auto Racing. Going to release the green flag in the Jiffy Lube 300 for 60 laps, just over 60 miles. Let's go down trackside to fire these cars up. There you can see the field of 42 cars rolling off the starting grid here at New Hampshire to do battle for 60 laps in the Jiffy Lube 300. Let's look at the man starting in 4th. That's Matthew Burnett in the 16. In practice, he was 39th quickest in the bottom 4 in terms of speeds for that Roush Racing car, battling for the top 10 in points. Well, after qualifying, he was 4th place, top 4 fastest. So some great adjustments got Matthew Burnett up inside the top 5. What can he do with that starting spot? He won at Dover, another 1-mile racetrack. We'll see what Burnett can do here in Loudon, New Hampshire. And back to the man starting 11th. That's Trey Barto in car number 3. Barto has never won in the 7 races here at New Hampshire. This is his final shot at a victory. His nearest championship rival, Keegan Thompson, starts behind him and to his outside. What can Barto do with that inside lane on this initial start? But at the front, Jamie Stammer Jr. for Marcus Auto Racing on pole will lead the field to the green flag, who's outside the number 12 of Mitchell Collins as they come down on the gas for Stammer Jr. We're underway for New Hampshire. Great jump for Jamie Stammer Jr. He gets away in the lead. Mitchell Collins trying to keep second from Chris Jericho. The 18 dives to the inside. Stapleton goes middle, 3 behind. Sierra clears that. Stapleton gets down in line. Bow behind them is Colin Teague and Justin Zidell. 3 wide further back as Rando and Chung and Roger Ray get close. Leading the first lap, it's Jamie Stammer Jr. 3 wide throughout the pack into turn 1. And you can see Rando and Ray getting close right there through the corner. Rando trying to keep it off Ray because his teammate Lord Chung's on the outside. Trey Barto trying to get clear of that. Keegan Thompson trying to find a way down in front of the 14 of Luca Iger. But Kukulan's also there in the 17. Has to watch for that. With a battle up front, Colin T going low on Zidell and Matthew Burnett. Jericho still fighting with Mitchell Collins but gets that second spot. Stapleton down in line. Burnett and Zidell trying to fight each other. As now Bartow's on the outside because Roger Ray's who's inside the 55. And Keegan Thompson might... Oh, no. Luca Iger forced to the inside. Thought Thompson had shot down, but couldn't get down there in the 5. As now 3 cars break away, single foul. And it's right now the Chevy of Jamie Stammer Jr., the Pontiac of Chris Jericho, and still that battle for third, though. Sierra, I thought, was going to get cleared the 12 of Collins, but the 12 of Collins fights back on that outside lane. Nathan Stapleton looking to get clear in 5th in front of teammate Colin Teague. Mathis Wells making nice progress through the field. Zidell trying to get down in front of Roger Ray in the 55, as Barto also still fighting with that 55 of Roger Ray, still on the outside of that number 55 Andy Peter Racing Chevrolet, and can't get down. Zidell trying to get by Matthew Burnett, who started 4th. Zidell started 8th. That's right now the battle for 8th. Zidell's going to take it entering turn 3 as up towards the front. Stammer Jr. has it for Marcus Auto Racing as we have a yellow flag. Accident there. And it looks like it was towards the back of the field. I don't know who necessarily was involved, but it looks like it was a spin down the front stretch. It doesn't look like many cars were collected in it. So that's the first yellow out here at New Hampshire. Big break for the driver from the outside like Trey Barto and Keegan Thompson. Barto now going to be in 12th and Thompson 17th. They can get down and now in line and get going on this restart. That was now we're coming around to complete the 5th lap of this race. Fuel window is about 33 to 36, 37 laps, so I wouldn't expect people to come down pit lane here for tires or fuel because I don't really think they necessarily need them. So I would believe all cars will stay out. Maybe some drivers towards the back need some tires, need some adjustments. They'll come down, but otherwise I think if you're at the front of the field, you'll be seeing cars staying out on the racetrack, and so far that is what we're seeing here at New Hampshire. No one coming in of the front runners. You can see the 71, 18, 25 out there, 1, 2, 3. And the rest of the field cycles by pit entry, and no one makes that move onto pit road because at this point for those drivers, I think they're saying we don't really need it. I think they're saying we're good to go from here. So Stammer Jr. leads under the first yellow. Let's go see what happened to bring out that yellow flag. It looked like it was a smaller spin down the front stretch. This was around mid-pack here at New Hampshire. 3 wide coming off turn number 4. To the inside, Hagita. Middle, it's Logan Williams, who was fastest in practice. To the outside, Eli Bright, who was 11th fastest. Hagita and Williams just kind of come together. Close racing there, nowhere to go. Eli Bright on the outside, can't give any more room. He's already up against the wall. Hagita spins around middle of the track. Right there, you can see right there, Williams gets away, but Hagita now sideways. There you can see to the inside, Yepez, and that's Benny Lynn in the 94, subbing for Brandon Beal, who will be out for 6 weeks after his terrible crash in Michigan. Benny Lynn doing a good job missing that one. Hagita, the only car involved in this spin. Another look at this, Hagita on the inside, and I think he just maybe didn't know they were 3, maybe thought there was a little bit more room up top, but there just wasn't enough room. Hagita comes up, crowds Williams into Eli Brighton. Luckily, he's the only one involved, and really, I don't think anyone has any damage to where they're going to be slower. I think everyone's going to be just fine from that accident, that little spin here off turn number 4. So it's Jamie Stammer Jr. with the race lead here at Loudon as it leads back to the green flag. He's led from pole. The underdog currently leads in New Hampshire. Lights are out atop the Pontiac pace car, which means we're going green this time by. And we'll see what Stammer Jr. can do with the lead. Can he try and get away like he did on the initial start, or will Jericho and Sierra be closer on this go-around? As we'll go green on lap number 9. All 42 cars still running. Hagita in 34th. Logan Williams right now in 28th. Zachary DeLello currently back of the pack in 42nd. Benny Lynn, Brandon Beal's replacement for these few races, doing a nice job in 33rd. We'll see if he can try and gain some more spots. Some surprise towards the back. Luke Rainey obviously started back in 38th. He's currently in 39th. Lathan Strickland started in 39th. He's currently in 38th. And Rouse Bridge didn't start well, but he's up to 32nd, just a few spots higher than his initial starting spot. Same with Keyshawn Richardson in the 26th position. So it's Stanworth Jr. with the race lead, Chris Jericho in second, Sierra in third, Collins in fourth, Stapleton fifth. They have Colin Teague, Mathis Wells, Justin Zidell, Roger Ray, and Matthew Burnett. That's the front 10 for the first restart of the day here at New Hampshire. Jamie Stanworth Jr. with the lead. He gets a nice jump there. Green flag back in the air, but Jericho and Sierra, especially Sierra, look at Jericho trying to block the 25 into 1. They might be 3. Jericho gets down in front of Sierra with a battle for the lead at New Hampshire. Jericho trying to take it from Stanworth Jr. and does off turn 2. But Sierra has a run entering turn 3. He'll look out 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. This is for the top spot in the Jiffy Loop 300. 3 wide through 3 and 4 for the lead. No room being given at all as they come off 4. Contact between the 18 and the 25. Jericho led the lap in the 18. But Sierra's the preferred inside lane to turn 1. Brett Sierra from Motorsports trying to take it. Stapleton trying to get to third by Jamie Stanworth Jr. as they all battle hard off turn 2. See those cars breaking loose on corner exit. They're trying to get back into the gas as hard as possible. They're still door to door into turns 3 and 4. No one gained the advantage quite yet. Sierra might finally do it on the inside through 3 and 4. Sierra clears and leads. He'll lead his first lap of the day on lap number 10. Jericho trying to fight for a second with Stapleton. The 97, though, dives inside. Stanworth trying to get down in front of Colin Teague, make sure he doesn't lose any more spots. Stanworth down in 4th, now going for 3rd on Jericho. Colin Teague up in front of Mitchell Collins. Mathis Wells now looking on the 12 car. It's a huge fight inside the top 5. And Wells going to put Zidell to the outside because he's looking on the 12 of Collins. They're getting close to 3 wide right there. Stapleton moves to 2nd. Zidell and Roger Ray battle. Roger Ray gets by the number 24. Zidell right there. That's the battle for 8th on the racetrack. Behind is a line for 10th place Matthew Burnett. 11th place Trey Barto, Kukulon, and Jay Rando. See Keegan Thompson, no luck on this restart. He's back on the outside. In front of him, it's Luca Iger. Behind him, it's Jacob Boyd. Anthony Hernandez, the 1 to his inside. Jordan Stout might actually get the 5 in because he didn't get a good run off turn 2. But Thompson stayed to the high side because the 1 didn't get a good run down the backstretch at all. But at the front, look at this log jam of cars. Now Stanworth Jr. is on the outside, Mitchell Collins. Jericho clears that. Stapleton, who had maybe the race of his season at Michigan, moves to 2nd. The first battle's for 4th. Collins on the inside, Stanworth on the outside. As Mitchell Collins started 2nd in this race, Stanworth Jr. started in 1st. Now Collins moves by the 71. Now the 71 has his hands full with the number 20 of Mathis Wells as well. Trey Barto trying to move by the 24 Zidell and maybe some more cars as well as a few cars that have gotten single file. They're trying to get away now as Wells looks for 5th and gets 5th at the start-finish line off of the 71 of Stanworth Jr. Roger Ray looking to get further inside the top 10. Trey Barto getting by the number 24 Zidell for 9th. He has cars on the outside they can pass like the 6 of Teague and the 71 of Stanworth Jr. Sebastian Kukulon recovered well after a bad practice. Here he is inside the top 12. Lord Chung and Jay Randall racing hard. Anthony is the 1 on the outside. There's Jordan Stout. There's Jack Haas. He's having a good race concerning he didn't get a lap of practice in. He wrecked that car on his first lap of practice. They couldn't get the backup out in time to do any practice laps. He went out there qualified 18th without practicing that car. And right now he's running in the 17th position. So for Jack Haas, his teammates right in front of him, this is not a bad day at all for that driver of the 93. It's a big battle in front of him as well. Lord Chung trying to get by Jay Reynolds, still trying to clear that. Trey Barto trying to get by the 6 of Teague to move his way up inside the top 8. As every position Barto can gain as they're 3 wide behind him. Hernandez to the inside, the 1, an aggressive move right there in the battle for 13th. Haas on the outside. Thompson looks to his inside as they're 3 wide. Look how close that is as they race down to turn 1. Hernandez on the inside, Chung in the middle. There's some contact between those two. Jay Randall going to get involved in the 22 as well. They all trying to keep it off each other as they come off turn 2. Now 3 wide behind. Jordan's down the 88 to the middle. He might try and let Randall go right there. And maybe Nice gets shoved to the middle lane. Two Bill Davis Pontiacs beneath and top. Haas kind of slid up into Stout, which got him into Rando. They're still trying to sort it as they come down the front straightaway. That is so close. Look at Thompson. Got to try and take advantage of all this in the 5. Conrad Evanston didn't start well. Here he is moving up. This is great stuff just outside the top 10 here at New Hampshire, battling for around 15th or so. Stout clears Thompson. Now Stout just has to get by the 23 of Lord Chung. Anthony is having a good day in the 1. He's trying to get by the 16 of Matthew Burnett. Jack Haas up inside the top 15. So we go back towards the front. Kukulon getting by the number 24 Zidell for 10th. Back up towards the front. We have a battle right here for 6th. Stanworth Jr. has it. Roger Ray wants it. But as we go even further up, Stapleton about a quarter of a second behind Brett Sierra in the 25. Jericho up almost a second back. Mitchell Collins over a second back. We'll see what the drivers 3rd, 4th, and 5th could do because Mathis Wells in 5th also clear of traffic. And something we've said about this 18 team many times this season. The first run, they don't look the best. But once they do pit stops and they make adjustments, the 18 comes alive, and it looks better than it does in the first half of the race. So if Jericho's team does that same thing, can they possibly be there towards the end? And the big question, what do the front two do? Is Stapleton better than Sierra, or is the 25 just kind of holding off and not using his stuff up? This will be interesting to see as we go throughout this race. Does the 97 fall off, or does he get even better as the run progresses? Right now, he's right onto the back of Brett Sierra. Had a nice lap that time. And that time, I think he gained a little bit on Brett Sierra, just about 0.03 of a second. And Stanworth lost his spot to Roger Ray. Now he's looking to lose the spot to Trey Barto. So Barto looks for 7th on Stanworth, the pole sitter, who obviously that car doesn't have the same aerodynamic and motor, capabilities as the cars that he's bound with. He's bound with an RCR car, a Roush car, a Hendrick Motorsports car. These are all teams that have the top of the line stuff and the best of the best. Stanworth Jr. doesn't have that, so the fact he's even battling among them and out-qualified them, very impressive, and shows the skills he has as a driver. He's down now in front of 2 Roush cars. He's currently in 8th, right behind him, 9th place Colin Teagan, 10th place Sebastian Kukulan. Roush Racing having a really good run here at New Hampshire. They have a driver up in 2nd, then 9th, 10th, and 11th are all their drivers. Excuse me, 9th, 10th, and 12th are all their drivers. And then Keyshawn Richardson has made some nice progress up to 24th in that 99 car. Conrad Evans is up to 17th. Keegan Thompson's up to 15th. He just got by the 88 of Jordan Stout. Conrad Evans looking to get by to move his way up inside the top 15. In fact, that was 14th for Keegan Thompson right there. So Keegan right there doing well is at the front. Stapleton closed in big time at Sierra into turn 1, but maybe some dirty air kept the 97 from getting close enough to attempt a pass. He'll stay about a car length or 2 behind that 25 as they work through 3 and 4. And now we're getting near halfway in this race, which is when drivers are going to have to be thinking about coming down pit road and making it onto pit road, and they're making it into their pit stall, and then the pit crews do their job. So we're getting close to that point in this race where pit stops are going to be up ahead for these drivers and teams. And when do you come in is the question. Do you come in sooner, try and get the undercut? But the problem is with how short this racetrack is, if a yellow comes out in the middle of pit stops and pit cycles, you could fall a lap down, maybe even 2 laps down. So there is a gain for pitting sooner. You get those tires, but the negative is if a yellow comes out, if something happens. Oh, Zeidel's in pit road already. And I don't know if that's scheduled. That's, I think, too soon to be scheduled. So Justin Zeidel with an issue in the 24. He's been there for a while, it looks like, as well, because he is right now 1 lap down. So the winner last race at Michigan, and it looks like there is some bigger issue on the 24 here today in New Hampshire. That's a really tough break. Had so much momentum going from that win in Michigan, and now it looks like it's all getting out the window. Now back to the pit stop strategy. Do you come in sooner? Do you risk that is the big question. We'll have to see what the leaders do and all that. As Brett Sierra continues to lead in the Jiffy Lube 300. This is the highest battle for positions currently for 13th. Keegan Thompson trying to claw his way back through the field. Remember, he started in 14th, so he's a net gain of 1 spot. But Trey Barto is up in 7th, so Barto will be gaining a good amount of points back is the problem for Keegan Thompson. But now Keegan sees the battle in front of him. It's to the outside, Matthew Burnett. To the inside, Jack Haas. Jack Haas going for 11th. Remember, that car only has 1 lap on it. It was his qualifying lap. Matthew Burnett to the outside will lose that spot. That's 11th place. Now Keegan Thompson will look for 12th in the 5 car. Kukulan still can't get by the 71 of Jamie Stanworth Jr. Colin Teague trying to keep touch with Trey Barto, who can't really gain much on Roger Ray, but Chris Jericho might be holding up a line of cars, which is Mitchell Collins and his teammate Mathis Wells. It looks like the 12, who remember started 2nd in this race, might be a little bit better than the 18, who started in 3rd. And for the lead, Stapleton not letting Sierra get away. Both these drivers started on the 3rd row. Sierra on the inside in 5th. Stapleton on the outside in 6th. Well, here they are, 1st and 2nd here at New Hampshire. Sierra looking to try and hold it for another win this season. Nathan Stapleton's never won in the Winston Cup Series. Zeidel took his back out on the racetrack. He is, but 3 laps down the 24, and he'll not gain that back even with pit cycles. The best he can hope is that he goes to maybe 1 lap down, a yellow comes out, and then he can pit there and then not have to pit again, but obviously it'd still be a lap down. Just hope people can DNF from the race maybe. Still no big battles up here. Still that battle for 10th kind of closing up. Keegan Thompson trying to move up inside the top 10. It's Matthew Burnett under fire from the 1 of Anthony Hernandez. That's currently battle for 13th, 14th, and 15th with Jordan's down the 88 right there. Keyshawn Richard making nice progress in the 99 up to 20th right there. So Keyshawn doing a good job right by now. Luca Iger in the number 14. Richard doesn't have the best starting spot at all. Same with Riley Spurtube. Spurtube started outside the top 30. Here he is now up to 21st. As we look a little bit further back, Hagita was spinning in the first yellow, up to 26. Not a bad drive for that Jasper Motorsports driver. How about Sergio Hagita right there? Drivers that didn't start well. Noah Clifton didn't have a good qualifying result. There you can see Benny Lynn, Luke Rainey started back in 38th, qualified 39th. Lathan Strickland a little bit further behind him, started back there with him. Logan Williams, fastest in practice, not fast here. And there's Zidell on the fresh tires, gaining up through the pack, but obviously 3 laps down. Well, halfway this time behind the Jiffy Lube 300, 1 caution flag for a single car spin. All cars still going. That was Sergio Hagita, who spun around in the 77. Currently leading this race, Brett Sears led the most laps in this one. Jericho also led a lap. Jamie Stewart Jr. led a few laps. Nathan Stapleton's been second for most of this race. He's been within about 3/10 of the race leader, Brett Sears, this whole time. Can't find a way by, but pit stops looming ahead for these race leaders and drivers. And we'll see which of the front runners are the first to budge to get onto pit road. And we'll see if it works out for them or if it backfires. Obviously, if you're Mitchell Collins, you might want to pit sooner rather than later because the 18 looks like it's slower in front of you. I think that 12 definitely has the pace advantage over the 18, but can't find a way around. Much like what I think is the problem with the 97 and the 25. I think Stapleton at this point in the race faster than the 25 of Sierra. The problem is it's very hard to make a pass at a track like New Hampshire. You really need to try and work at it, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do that without maybe some pit cycle strategy. But we're getting to the point now where these drivers will have to come down pit road for fuel and tires. They're nearing the end of their fuel tank, and obviously the yellow will buy them some extra laps, so the fuel knows about what, 33, 36 laps. That could be bumped up to about 35, maybe 38 if these drivers want to stay out a little bit longer, and crew chiefs as well. Stanford Jr. back to 10th. Kukulon got by him. Jericho still in front of the number 12 of Mitchell Collins. As Stapleton still over the back of Brett Sears, just trying to force that 25 into a mistake and hope they can find a way around him as they battle through 3 and 4. Stapleton running a little bit higher than Sears, looking for maybe some cleaner air, maybe trying to arc it off on the bottom of the corner as none of the front 5, 6, none of the front 8 come down. No one coming in. Jack Haas up to the top 10 for Bill Davis Racing. What a recovery mission it's been for the driver of the 93. Keegan Thompson goes for 11th on the pole sitter. There goes Keegan. He's by Stanworth Jr., just ahead of him in the middle of 1 and 2, and I think he's going to be able to get that pass cleared right there. So now the leaders come in this time. Looks like Sears going to be the first to blink and come in because he'll surrender the lead to come in first. Brett Sears from the lead pits. Mathis Wells pits in the 20. Trey Barto is in. Colin Teague is in. They're doing an undercut, trying to get the tires sooner to get the track position because they know how crucial that track position is. Nathan Stapleton leads that lap in the 97, but the race leader, Sierra, the reason he didn't lead it, he was into pit road. So Sierra came in. Wells, Barto, Teague, Matthew Burnett, Ruiz, and Hagita, Yepez, and Lawrence. Does Stapleton now blink this time and come in? No, he's going to stay out even longer. Same with the 18 and the 12. They're really hoping a yellow comes out here. They can trap these drivers a lap down. Roger Ray comes in. Kukulon comes in. Jack Haas, Keegan Thompson, the 71 of Stanworth, the 88 of Stout, 23 Lord Chung, 22 Javer. Now most of the field comes in this lap, but still a few of the front runners, they're going long. They want the tires later. They want to try and catch a yellow. Because you never know if people come merging up into the pack like Brett Sears here, and you can see some cars collide, but so far it looks like everyone's fine. Stapleton's going to come in this time in the 97. Jericho and Collins also will yield to pit road. Anthony Hernandez will come in. Conrad Evans will come in. Jacob Boyd's going to come in. That's going to bring Sierra right there. There's Zidell, but he's a few laps down. Mathis Wells came off pit road. Trey Barto as well. There's Colin Teague, the 16 and the 4. Where are the drivers that came in this last lap? Roger Ray out behind the 25. Let's actually see how far away he got from the 55 and them. Trey Barto looking to get by that 55 Ray. He was behind him before pit cycles. He's looking to get out in front of him here. Side by side to turns 3 and 4. Barto on the outside has the momentum and the pace advantage on the warmer tires. He'll get by that 55 of Roger Ray. These drivers that came in later than anyone, where do they come out? Can Collins beat Jericho? He can't. Jericho a little bit slower leaving the box as Sears looks to try and get by Nathan Stapleton. The 97 on 2-lap newer tires than the 25 of Sierra. Was it a good pit stop for the 97, or was it a bad stop for the 25? Stapleton comes out right with Sierra. I think the 25 is going to be able to get it because of that momentum and the warmer tires, but Stapleton is right there, and he's on fresher tires than the 25. Yeah, so I don't know if that really worked out for Sierra like he was hoping for. I think he was hoping to gain a big gap on that 97, but Stapleton now has a few lap fresher tires, and he's right there with Brett Sierra. So the 25 cycles out to the lead. 97 in second. 20 will be third. Fourth place will now be Trey Barto. Jericho back in fifth. Roger Ray in sixth. Kukulon in seventh. Colin Teague is eighth. Jack Haas up to ninth. And Mitchell Collins all the way back to 10th. And the 12th car, remember, he was up inside the top 5 before pit cycles. Anthony is in 11th. Jordan Stout 12th. Evans is 13th. Keegan Thompson back in 14th. Keyshawn Merchant all the way up to 15th in the 99. Yepez in 16th. Matthew Burnett down to 17th. Spurtube is 18th. Lawrence is 19th. And running out the top 20 is number 8, Budweiser Chevrolet of Eli Bright. Just got by the 22 Jay Randall that last lap. But Randall looks to get back by that 8 car right there. Battling up here. Keegan Thompson trying to get by Conrad Evans. Battle right there for 13th on the racetrack. Side by side, trying to use the fresh Goodyear Eagles well. Battle off into turns 3 and 4. Thompson gets by as Stapleton losing ground to Brett Sierra. Very shocked about that. You have to wonder if these tires, they just take a little bit to get in, you know, into their warmth, into their temperature, because Stapleton came out about 6/10 behind him. He's lost 4/10 in the last lap or two, and now he has the lap car Zidell right behind him, and Zidell's on worse tires. Oh, Eli Bright's not in the top 20. He's a lap down. My apologies there. So Eli Bright and Jose Mills have fallen a lap down on the pit cycles. Zidell's still 2 laps down, but I think has to pit again. So far as Zidell, he's going to lose even more laps to the race leaders. As still, Stapleton can't gain on that 25, and still losing ground. The battle for 5th is shaping up to be a good one. Jericho has it. The 18 has not looked strong much of this race. Roger looks to get by him in the 55. Kukulon's there. Colin Teague and Jack Haas, and then Mitchell Collins just kind of in a world of his own in 10th. Jamie Stammer Jr. in all this, he's fallen well behind in 34th. So obviously the pit stop not what Stammer Jr. was needing, as he's now down in 34th and out of a shot for a good result. That's a tough break right there. Well, Stapleton that time, he maintained with Brett Sierra. It was 1.11 last lap. It's 1.11 this lap. Mathis Wells is maybe the one to watch out for, because he cut in to Sierra's lead that last lap. It was about 2/10 he was faster than the number 25. So maybe Mathis Wells has a better car at this stage in the race than the front two. The problem is, when can he get by this lap traffic of Justin Zidell? Maybe when Zidell pits. Stapleton that time just a little bit faster. Mathis Wells, though, was about 1/10 and a half faster. So if Wells can get clear of this 24 and then get clear of the 97, maybe the 20 can run the 25 down. Maybe Mathis Wells is the biggest threat to Brett Sierra in this race, and not necessarily Nathan Stapleton like it has been all race. Battle for 7th is still right there. I mean, Colin Teague is right in the back of Special Kukulon. Jack Haas right in the back of both of them. And Mitchell Collins trying to gain in the 12. Remember, he was up inside the top 5. Keegan Thompson got by the one of Anthony Reyes, back up to 12th. Now going for 11th on Jordan Stout. Nair's up by the 31 of Conrad Evans to move up a spot further forward. Off into 1 and 2. Keegan Thompson right on the back of the 88 of Jordan Stout, looking for a way by the number 88. But no such run was formed right there. Well, Wells is all over the back of Zidell. He needs to get by him right now to have a shot at the front two. He has to hope that Stapleton also closes in on Sierra, which he hasn't, and Wells is losing a 10th or 2 behind Zidell every lap. He really needs to find a way around this 24. Zidell on worse tires. Wells on better tires. He really needs to get by this 24 as quick as possible. He can't be hanging around him, because he's going to lose even more tenths, you know. It was down to around 1.6. Now it's up to 1.8, and it's probably going to be up around 2 seconds this time by, because Wells cannot fight by that 24. Stapleton that time cut a little bit less than a 10th off. Wells lost a 10th and a half. Barto is getting a mirror that's getting bigger of Chris Jericho and Roger Ray. That could be a nice battle, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And Barto needs to keep every spot he can, because right now he's in 4th. Thompson back in 11th. He's a net gain of 7 spots off Keegan Thompson, which would be a good result for the 3. Back around to 14 to go this time by. Mathis Wells still trying to get by the lap traffic of Justin Zidell. 2 laps down on worse tires for the 24. Wells on better tires, and looked like he had the faster car than the front 2 before he caught this 24. Now that he's stuck behind him, he can't find a way around him. He's losing tenth and a half every time. That might be a shot into turn 3 right here if he can try and dive it low. He couldn't, though. And at this point in the race, this is where your brakes are aching and you're just hoping to get there to the finish. So any late braking moves you would maybe want to make could end a disaster for both you and the car you're trying to pass. Well, Stapleton is gaining it in chunks back. It's about 800ths, 900ths every time. It's not necessarily a tenth, but it is good enough to at least get him closer to Sierra, and maybe that gets better as the run goes on. Who knows? We'll have to just see throughout the rest of this race. Can Stapleton keep gaining at the rate? Will it lose, or will he gain at a bigger rate as the run goes on? It was 9 tenths last time. By this time, it's 8 tenths. Another tenth off with 12 to go. He would be there within the final 5 laps. The battle for fourth is shaping up. Jericho's drove away from the 55 Roger Ray and drove up onto the back of Trey Barto. Meanwhile, with Wells still not getting by the 24 Zidell, Barto's driving up onto the back of Mathis Wells in the battle for third. And Barto would love to get that third place. Wells, oh, that might be his chance right there to get by Zidell. Has him out of the groove. There we go. Wells will finally get by, but all the time he lost, it was 1.6 seconds. It's now 2.58. He lost a full second behind the 24 Zidell and almost lost third as well. Now can Barto and Jericho get around that 24 in a timely manner? Meanwhile, Stapleton kind of maintained that lap, didn't gain, only lost 200ths. 10 to go at the line. Brett Sears led the most laps in this race, but we've seen drivers lead most laps. And think back to Dover, the other 1 mile racetrack we went to. Trey Barto led a lot of that race, but it was Matthew Burnett, Roush Racing Car, in the final 5 laps that stole it from Barto. And right now it's a Roush Racing Car trying to hunt down the guy who's dominated, Brett Sierra. Mitchell Collins moved to 9th by the number 93 Jack Haas. Barto, meanwhile, trying to get by that 24 Zidell to get him in the rearview mirror and then have his sights set on the number 20 Mathis Wells. There you see Collins driving up onto the back of his 2 fellow Fords. Colin Teague right in front of him, then Kukulon not too far from him as well. If Jack Haas falls back, Keegan Thompson can fight for a top 10. Well, Barto needs to get by that 24 fast because Chris Jericho's right there as well. If Barto can't find a way around, Jericho might find a way around the 3 and then even a way around the 24. Right there, Barto's a nice run off turn 2. I'm surprised he didn't take it, but Jericho's not taking a run either. That's bringing Roger Ray back into a 3-way battle for possibly 4th right here. Jericho looking to give the bumper to Trey Barto. Getting a little aggressive with it, but couldn't make the move. Still 7 tenths between the leaders. 8 laps to go now, 6.5 tenths. But I think Stapleton needs just a little bit more than what he's getting. Jericho might lose 5th right here to Roger Ray. It's oh so close. Roger Ray couldn't find a way around, but still they're stuck behind Zidell, who's desperately out there trying to make it to the end without pitting again. But he might have to. Oh, look at Jericho's going to the high side. Roger Ray might get 5th right here. Barto on the inside. Jericho looking for some cleaner air to use a run off the corner. He might be able to keep 5th, but he's not going to get to that number 3 of Barto. He will keep 5th, but Barto still keeps 4th. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead is now within 6 tenths. Jericho again goes high. This time he might lose 5th to Roger Ray because the 55 had a better run through 1 and 2 on the inside. Jericho got a nice drive off, though. Kept that 5th spot. Barto still can't find a way around that 24, but meanwhile at the front is tightening up with 6 to go. Brett Sierra from 5th place on the grid has it. The gap back to Nathan Stapleton stabilized that time, just under 6 tenths of a second. If it keeps stabilizing like that, he's fine with 6 to go. Stapleton won't be able to get away around, but if the 25 makes mistakes, watch out. Meanwhile, still that big log jam right there is Zidell, or excuse me, Jack Haas got by Colin Teague for 9th. Keegan Thompson sees the top 10 just in front of him and is saying, go, go, go. Barto right there is going to get by Zidell. Back to 5 to go. He's going to get by him. That's going to bring Jericho and Roger Ray possibly with him as well. The gap between the leaders stabilized again. It's about 6 tenths of a second. 5 laps to go in the Jiffy Lube 300 at New Hampshire. Barto to P4. Jericho keeps 5th. Roger Ray will keep 6th. Mitchell Collins by Kukulon up to 7th. Battle for 10th has Colin Teague trying to hold off the 5 of Keegan Thompson. And this battle for 7th still going on. Collins can't complete the pass on Kukulon for now. Back to 4 to go this time by. Stapleton gains about 7/100ths, but he needs more than that to get to the back bumper of the 25 and make that pass. Mathis Wells has a nice 3rd place, 2 seconds up to the next guy, 1.3 back to the nearest guy. This time by 3 laps to go for the number 25 of Brett Sierra. Traffic ahead, not really. Logan Williams is coming off 4 now. I don't think that'll be a factor as we have 3 laps to go. Looks like Stapleton visually gained that time. Yeah, it's down another 10th with 3 to go, but once again, 1/10's not going to cut it. He needs a lot more than that, 10th and a half or so every lap. Battle for 4th, still shaping up as Barto has that 4th spot. Jericho looking for a way by. That's 4th, 5th, 6th is Roger Ray. 7th is now Collins. Thompson with Richardson right behind him has Colin Teague in front of him for a top 10. But back around to 2 to go. The lead's still tightening up. Sierra has to make just over 2 miles more, and he'll win at New Hampshire for another win in the Winston Cup Series. That would be a really, really big run for Brett. Sierra's teammate might finish outside the top 10. He might be able to leapfrog some drivers in points. White flag this time by Logan Williams, the only lap car ahead for the number 25 of Brett Sierra. Nathan Stapleton digging hard with those fresher tires. They've come in, but it might be too late. 1 lap to go at New Hampshire for Brett Sierra. Stapleton has closed in, but unless there is some miraculous run through 1 and 2 and then through 3 and 4, Brett Sierra has this on lockdown. Stapleton a nice 1 and 2 and down the backstretch, but I don't think he's close enough for any dive attempt into 3 and 4. Final time into turns 3 and 4. Stapleton closes in on braking, lets it roll through the center of the corner, but so does Brett Sierra. He's back into the gas before Nathan Stapleton. Brett Sierra is going to win again the Winston Cup Series. He gets it done in New Hampshire. Nathan Stapleton ends up in 2nd, Wells in 3rd, Barto and Jericho 4th and 5th, Roger Ray gets 6th, Collins 7th, Kukulon, Haas and Teague, Richardson and Thompson side by side for 11th. But the winner of this race is Brett Sierra. Top 5 in points entering this race. Another win in the Winston Cup Series gets him closer once again to teammate Keegan Thompson, Trey Barto as well. Brett Sierra momentum back on for the 25. Another win this season, and he just held on over Nathan Stapleton. Looked to find a way around at the end, but couldn't do it. Stapleton has to settle for 2nd place here today at New Hampshire. Look at the finish results. Brett Sierra obviously with the win in the 25. Nathan Stapleton in 2nd. Those two are basically 1-2 the whole race. They end up right there, a quarter of a second apart at the finish line. Mathews Wells ends up in 3rd. Trey Barto clung on to 4th off Chris Jericho. Jericho was beside him at the start-finish line. Maybe one more lap. The 18 would have gotten by the 3, but the 3 ends up in 4th. The 18 ends up in 5th. Roger Ray, good run in 6th. Mitchell Collins in 7th. Kukulon 8th. Jack Haas, what a run it was, in 9th. And Colin Teague rounds out the top 10. So for Roush Racing, really, really good run for them. Stapleton in 2nd. He had Kukulon end up in 8th. Colin Teague end up in 10th. Richardson end up 11th. Matthew Burnett 16th. That's all 5 of the cars inside the top 16. 4 of the cars inside the top 11. Keyshawn Richardson edged Thompson for 11th right at the start-finish line. What a great recovery for the 99 driver. Thompson ends up in 12th. Evans 13th. Stout 14th. Yepez ends up in 15th. Good run for him. Matthew Burnett mentioned 16th, Anthonez in 17th. How about Riley Spiritu? Good run in 18th. Nolan Lawrence, a really good run for Huskar Motorsports in 19th, and Jay Brandon runs at the top 20. Melling Racing's Baby Rose 21st, Luca Iger in 23rd. How about Benny Lynn subbing for Brandon Beal for a few races? Hope Beal gets back to the track well enough soon. 25th though for Benny Lynn. Look down Hagit after spinning, ended up still in 29th. We look down some bigger names down here. Luke Rainey ended up in 31st. Lathan Strickland in 33rd. They started back there. They could not make their way through the field. Caden Lynn 34th. You look at Jimmy Stewart Jr. He got 35th from pole position. Eli Bright a lap down. Jose Mills a lap down. Justin Zidell last place. 2 laps down for the driver of the 24. Obviously issues on that car relegated him to that poor finish. But with Zidell's teammate Brett Sierra winning for Hendrick Motorsports here in New Hampshire. Kind of different for Hendrick Motorsports. They're used to seeing all 3 of their cars running well with one of them winning. Well, today, their car won. Their next highest car is back in 12th place, Keegan Thompson. Their other car finished last place, and it wasn't even because of a DNF. So, Hendrick Motorsports, a very different race here today at New Hampshire. One of their cars, though, Brett Sierra ends up winning, as 2 of their cars are on multi-win seasons, and all 3 of them are still fighting for that championship. But Zidell's season is just taking a turn for the worse here. 42nd place, that's going to be hard to recover from, considering there's already over 100 points back at Keegan Thompson entering the race. Well, if there's one place we know it's going to be chaotic, it's going to be at the next race as we go racing at the Daytona International Speedway for the Firecracker 400. Unpredictability around every corner under the lights at Daytona. That's going to be a fun one for sure, and we'll have to see who can win that Midsummer Classic at Daytona. Can Keegan Thompson go 3 for 3 on the restricted plate tracks this season? He won the 500. He won at Talladega. Can he win the Firecracker 400, make it a perfect 3 for 3 on plate tracks this season? Only time will tell. That is the next race on JRTV. Thanks for watching the Winston Cup Series 2000 Jiffy Lube 300. Congratulations once again to Brett Sierra on winning here at New Hampshire. And join us next week for Daytona.